Cops kick us off. Jackson O'Doherty, thank you for the
What's
podcast.
up, my brother?
What's
How are we?
man?
Very well, very
so
good.
It's been 3 years working together.
Has been.
First time in person.
First time ever.
Feels like catching up.
You look better in person too.
Thank you, bro. So do you.
Instant boner.
We should have sex now.
We can. Now? We just did.
Nah, I'm keen to do this because I think the podcast, it's in its embryonic stage.
Does the mic work like that?
Oh, does it, am I ruled on it?
He's
All right?
talking sideways.
Listen, how I hold my dicks is none of your business.
So my penis is sideways.
No, we're in early days of the podcast, but it's going to be called Unbreakable.
Beautiful.
So it's money, motivation, mindset, and inspiring stories from interesting people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the reason I was cool to do this is because like I think half the stuff we talk about, like I think people find this interesting.
For sure.
And I think on this podcast, like I haven't had on anyone boring, and I know everyone on this really well. Like they're friends of mine.
Yep.
And I think your story in particular, like I don't want to say rags to riches, but like things started very small.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, maybe that's the best place to kick off, because I think if you look back from where you started to where you are now, like, do you remember the days chasing a little kangaroo around?
Yeah. Time goes quick, eh?
Right. And I mean, yeah. How long ago was that?
Shit, man. The kangaroo video, we're going back, I'm saying probably 2015. So about 8 years since then. But, you know, I was doing stuff a long time before then as well.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of my first videos that went, you know, viral. Would have been me with my pet kangaroo and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was doing videos, I'd say about 3 years before then, like trying to make something of it before then. But even going back well before then, bro, you know, like I remember, as you said, the whole rags to riches thing. I'm not going to pretend I was dirt poor and never had anything growing up. You know, I grew up in a pretty good family. My parents were amazing, did a fantastic job at raising me.
That's awesome.
Got to play sport, never went without food. We were definitely not rich. You know, we definitely, you know, there was a lot of people around us who had a lot more than us and stuff. But
yeah.
I was just grateful to be born in Australia, to grow up near the beach, to get to play rugby, to go to school and have friends and all that. You know, you learn from those types of growing up in like a household like that, you learn to be appreciative and grateful of the small things and things that don't cost money, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
So yes, I didn't really grow up with much. We didn't really get to go on holidays, didn't get lots of Christmas presents, didn't, you know, get to do a lot of, didn't go out to a lot of cool shit when we were kids. But like I said, man, I didn't need that growing up.
And it's interesting because I didn't know that there was that like couple of years before the ones that really popped off. Yep. Like what got you into the actual, because like pre-2015, that was when stuff was like, we didn't have TikTok, you know, YouTube wasn't popping off. Like this was new.
Yep.
Influencers didn't really exist.
It was kind of Facebook.
Yeah.
So I started on Facebook. I remember, man, I'm going back a while. Like, let me start from the beginning, right? I can fucking talk for days, bro, but I'll tell you my whole story.
Because it started so small.
Yeah.
Like you've gone from like a kid with a...
Especially in my pants. Very small.
Started so micro. And now it's like so throbbing. But like you started as a kid with a camera to like, you know, you hanging out with Logan Paul and these are like multi-billionaires who are like the biggest influencers on earth. Talk about like how it started. Yeah, man. So I know I was about 15, 16 years old, and you know I grew up watching Jackass and grew up watching a lot of the crazy shit like that. And there was a Christmas there where I got a really good Christmas present. I was like, shit, my parents must have worked hard this year, you know. And I'm like, what was my mum doing? It's a little bit suspicious. Nah, but I got like a little digital underwater camera. Right? It was like called Olympus Master 2. I think it was called that. Really old, just a little digital camera. And I was like, fuck yeah. So me and my cousin grew up doing dumb shit, salt bush jumping, going down hills and office chairs and trolleys, fucking doing dumb shit, right? Yeah. And so I just started making videos and putting them on my MySpace. Remember MySpace? Bro, you were doing it on MySpace?
Early. I was like 15 years old.
Do you know, I was talking to someone about this like the other week. Remember you'd have your top friends and like and some of them would do a crime and you would move to number 3.
You would alter them.
Yeah, and you're
so
like,
much beef.
You're like, you're a fucking dickhead, bro. Number 4. You know, number 1.
So much beef would just stem from the top friends, eh? You can only have one number 1.
Yeah.
I would just tell everyone you're all equally number 1.
But you secretly got a number 1.
But you're number 7.
So you're doing MySpace.
Yeah, but I never gave a fuck about becoming, you know, famous or well-known or rich or making money from it. I just watched Jackass. I watched Bam Margera in Viva La Bam, and I was like, you know what? I want to do that. I said, I don't care if I can make a life. I just want to have fun. I love that shit. It makes me feel alive. I played a lot of rugby growing up, so I was an aggressive, physical dude growing up. You know what I mean? I wasn't a big kid either, but I just fucking loved having a crack. And I thought, you know what? So I got this camera and we filmed it, and then eventually I was playing a lot of footy. I ended up living over in the UK when I was 18.
Yeah, right.
For about a year and a half. Just went on a working holiday with no money. Just went out with about $2,000 in my bank account, which I had to borrow from my pop and then pay him back.
By yourself?
Yep, by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a really bad injury playing football and I pretty much got ruled out for the year. So I said, what should I do? And I saw a commercial for the London pub company and you pay them about $500. They get your place to work and live, SIM card, bank accounts, do all that shit for you. I said, fuck it, I'll go over and have a crack. The worst case is I get on a flight and come home if it doesn't work. And I stayed for nearly 18 months just working in a pub. And then I was filming videos for Facebook, my personal account over there, just fucking with people in public.
Right.
And I thought, shit. And then I saw some guys in Australia blowing up from doing videos and shit. And I was like, maybe there isn't actually, like, there's a possibility I might be able to make something of this. Yep. Came home to Australia, started working again in pubs, did labouring and stuff. So I had 2 jobs for a good couple of years, maybe 3 years. I was labouring for my dad, who's a tiler.
Like demo, tiling.
Doing tiling, labouring, just, mixing cement, carrying up and down the stairs, fucking carrying tiles, cleaning, grouting.
I did demo work, bro.
A lot of grouting, a lot of cutting the tiles, just rough hands-on shit. But I mean, it's a physical job. And
sometimes I miss those days.
Yeah, it's got to be done, man. And then that same night, I'd go to the pub at about 5 p.m, work there till like midnight and close. Then I'd wake up again the next day at 6 for tiling, labouring again.
Yeah.
Did that for years, man. And every weekend, the only spare time I had, because I sometimes would work Saturdays, in the pub for double time.
Do you reckon that's why you grind so hard now?
I'd say so, man. I mean, the last 2 years I stepped off the pedal a bit just to really sit back. I was very burnt out. I went through a lot of, my own personal shit, including a big breakup and had to get spine surgery. And
I remember those.
It's life, man. Shit's going to happen to throw you off course. I'm just very lucky enough to be in a situation where I can afford to take a bit of time to myself and really put some money and time and effort back into just rebuilding myself and evolving and growing, learning a lot about myself, mentally, just physically, just becoming a better person. So
I think even from like the 3 years I've known you, like you've come a long way in the sense of like your level of thinking, like it's more strategic.
Yep.
You look at businesses, you assess things, even like the ability to say no to stuff is something that's very hard to learn as well. Because, to your point, if you're not the best version of yourself, then everything else is going to fall apart.
Definitely.
Content's going to fall apart.
100%. You're not going to be your best authentic self when you're not kind of right. You know what I mean? You need to be in a good mindset. And, you're going to have a lot of bad times and a lot of bad days, but you just got to have that. You just got to callous your mind, you know what I mean? And be disciplined enough to turn up on the days you don't feel good and still perform and still get it done.
That's the big thing, bro.
That's what separates
all the time.
Some people won't turn up if they don't feel good. It's like me. If I wake up and I'm tired or hungover or I'm fucked or I'm just feeling real shit, I'll have a coffee and I'll work out for a good hour, 2 hours, make sure I've trained no matter what. And it's just things like that. I put this, like everything for me, the foundations for me start around the gym, as funny as it says, like boxing or lifting weights or class training, whatever it is. It's like I will turn up and train at least 6 days a week, no matter what. No matter how shit I'm feeling. Even if I rock up there drunk, I get a workout in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to.
And then I try to take that principle into work, into relationships. I'm like, cool, it's just a discipline. It's a habit. It's a part of my day. I have to do it. Doesn't matter if I feel shit. Like, it doesn't matter if the whole world around me is going to shit. I have to just get it done.
It's so funny you say that, bro, because I think people are defined by like what they do when they don't feel like doing anything. Like when they just do shit that they have to do, even though they don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
I think for me, it was like that too. It's like, I always grew up wanting to just, it was hard for me to do shit I didn't want to do. Yeah. I still would, but like, that was what I always wanted, was just the freedom to answer to myself. No boss, no one could tell me really what to do. Yeah. You could say it's an ego thing. I don't know, but I didn't like, I don't know. I got ordered around a lot in my old jobs and stuff. I didn't like it. Yeah. And I just thought, you know what? I want to have my life set up so I am my own boss. I don't have to answer to people. And if I ever become a boss of other people, then I'll know how to not treat them. You know what I mean? And treat them good, look after them, offer them incentives.
Case in point now, right?
Exactly right.
Like how long have you and Lockie been working together for now?
Probably like 4 or 5 years.
Doesn't it feel good to kind of like pay it forward in that regard?
No. I mean, I'm greedy. I use my staff there on minimum wage.
I mean, from the perspective of like, it's just hard to find people that like are gonna, you
need good people around.
100%, just loyalty, bro.
And people that just believe in the vision and want to help, be a part of something, not just turn up for a quick paycheck to, just to get by. You need people that are on the similar page to you. And sometimes it's hard because, other people won't get the same benefits as you and it's not their actual thing, but you need people to believe in the long term and know that if you look after them, they'll look after you. That's where a lot of people go wrong, especially in social media. They just use and abuse people, fuck them off next. It's like a revolving door of staff, of friends and stuff, where I've kept a pretty good, regular, consistent circle of closer friends around me nearly the whole time.
Yeah. Does that like kind of just kept you in check, kept you balanced the whole time?
Yeah, most of my friends are pretty good to me. Most of them will keep me accountable, and
most of them.
I've got a lot of good friends that do like to make me feel good and will be like good, supportive, hype people. But I've got a good few friends around me, like my mate that lives here, Trent, like he'll if I'm slacking, he'll be in my fucking ear. Like, you being productive? Are you being productive? What have you done? What are you doing? What are you doing this? And I'm like, fuck, I just don't like, I don't fucking want to hear
that,
it.
bro.
I don't want to fucking hear that you don't feel good. You need to fucking do it. It's so important to have friends like you. Kind of, oh, maybe just take the day off because you got a sore toe. Like,
they're not
like,
your real friends, bro. You can't have people sucking you off all day.
No, it's good to have friends that care about you and will be there for you in those times and stuff and comfort you if you need it. But I mean, toxic masculinity, man, you don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Fuck feelings. Fuck feelings.
Just kill people. Nah, but it's so weird hearing you talk because it's like everything you're saying, like, you probably get people that ask you to like mentor them from a creator perspective.
Yep.
Like I'll get a lot of that in business, and everything that you're saying, like I say it to them and 9 out of 10 people, it's just in one ear out the other.
Yeah.
But then you get that one person who retains it, and then you can kind of like see them evolve,
Yep.
you know, like to where you are.
Could be my autistic brain. I absorb information well.
No, man, I just think like everything you're talking about, like forcing yourself outside your comfort zone, doing shit you don't want to do, surround yourself with people who know what they're doing, good people who are going to push you, motivate you, hype you. Like that's what you need to succeed, right?
Man, there was a good few years there where I didn't have that drive, you know, like
Really?
from about 24, maybe 23 to about 26, good 2-3 years, man. I went down a dark route with my mental health, with everything, bro. Like just really battled a lot with depression and anxiety and even small forms of paranoia, just the pressure from social media of keeping up with it all the time. This is all first world problems, you know, and I think what really snapped me back into gear was the fact that when you can actually remind yourself, you know what, I'm grateful that I was born in one of these countries. You know, we got good weather, good healthcare, good roads. Our education's pretty fucking good. It is strict and some of the laws and rules are pretty uptight, but I mean, that comes with, you know, we got good healthcare, good weather, good quality food.
Yeah.
There's not shootings all the time. We live in a pretty good country. Even the shitty areas here aren't that bad.
It's like, I can tell you're talking from experience because I've seen the same shit in LA.
And I lost sight of all these things. Like I have a great family. I've got many good friends that care about me, will do anything for me. You know, I'm physically in shape. You know, I'm able to eat what I want to eat. I've got a house to fucking live in. I've got water to shower in every day, water to drink. I'm very lucky compared to a lot of other people in the world, man. So I lost track of all this for years and just felt in this, like all I was hyper fixated on like what I didn't have and you know, what I wanted. And I just became not ungrateful, but just, I wasn't reminding myself of all the good things I did have. And I just fell down this dark route. Like I went through a bad breakup.
What year was this, bro?
Fuck, man. I'm talking maybe 2017.
2017.
Started for a good couple of years around there.
Yeah.
And yeah, just...
Did you have a similar period? Because I remember there was like a little dip because we were talking, like this was around the pandemic time. Because remember there was that... there was a similar period, I remember, and I think you had a manager, it wasn't working out too well, and I think you were just getting pulled left and right, and it was hard to figure out who was real.
There was just a lot of distractions and a lot of people everywhere trying to pull me one way, pull the other way, and it was like I was getting pulled in all these directions.
I remember.
I had a habit of saying yes to too many things and overcommitting to things, and I'm overwhelmed and stressed to the point where I do nothing, you know, and that's why I'm so like happy and proud of where I am now mentally, of how far I've come, because like I said, back a few years ago, man, like it was hard for me just to like leave the house. I just wanted to lay in bed all day. I had no energy, no physical energy, no sex drive. I didn't want to make money. I didn't want to make videos. I didn't want to do anything. I was just so I blew up online, you know, relatively quickly from what I did and started making money, and I had everything I thought that I ever wanted.
Just 2016-ish.
Yeah, around there, you know, and I had problems with some friends here and there. I had problems, you know, I had a big breakup.
Bad circles.
You know, I wasn't a great boyfriend in one of my relationships. I was never like abusive or any, you know, toxic shit like that, but I wasn't there. I was a bit neglecting and not considerate enough of the other person's feelings at times. And this isn't my recent breakup. This is going a long time ago, man. And, you know, I'm happy with where I'm at now, because now going into another relationship, which I'm not in a rush for, I don't care if it doesn't happen for 5 years. Next time I get in a relationship, I now know from my fuck ups and my mistakes and failed relationships exactly what I want. I know the type of person I want, which now shapes me, that I need to be the type of person that I need to be in order to deserve what I want in someone. You know, if you want a type of person, you need to make sure that you're good enough for that type of person, because if you're not, it's not going to work. So I'm just waiting around. My standards are high. Yeah. It's not to me to sit here and think I think I'm God's gift and the greatest, but I know what I can bring to the table, and it's not just about money and all that bullshit. It's about I can make people laugh. I can fuck good. You got a good moral compass too, man. You got you know, things obviously, you got a lot of loyalty. You know, that's huge. Small circles, good ethics. Like this is stuff that you've probably seen that there's not a lot of in, like, let's say Hollywood, for example. Definitely not on social media stuff. No, but even people out here, they get a quick hit of fame from TikTok or something these days, and boom, just change. Oh, I'm too cool for everyone, you know?
Yeah, how do you deal with that? Because you're probably surrounded by that all the time.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Can you pick up on it quicker?
Yeah, really quickly, man. And it's just a matter of, like, you know, if I'm collaborating with somebody or meeting somebody, networking, that it's easy for me to detach. Like, cool, this person's not going to be a long-term friend.
It's just game face.
Cool, it's just a bit of networking, and I don't have to be two-faced to pretend to like them or pretend to hate them. Yeah. It's just mutual. It's just like, I don't hate you. I don't like you either. It's like
business.
I don't like someone's character. I'm not going to pretend to like love them. It's just like, hey, cool, we can get along. I don't want enemies. I don't want to hate people.
I think it's hard for you to be. I don't think you can be inauthentic.
No, exactly right. I am what I am. And it's like I'm not offended and upset if people tell me they don't like me or don't like what I do. And I think it's a good approach to have. I think it's healthy. If someone can identify they don't like certain things or types of people, it's cool. You don't have to be like a real prick about it, but it's fine. It's healthy. If people don't like me, it is what it is. And if I don't like other people, so be it.
But it's a calming way to be, right? Like it's a peaceful, happy place to be when you're at that point. Did it take you a while to get to that point?
For sure, man. Only the last couple of years.
That's it.
Good 25, 26. I'm 29 now. So good 25, 26. Most of them years, I was just chaotic. My brain was just fucking... And I just had so many issues, and I abused my body so badly with so many types of different ways, not from substance abuse and shit, but from stunts and hurting myself. And, I abused
injuries from that.
Bad, yeah. And I abused a lot of steroids from a very young age. Yeah. From like 17 to about 21, which...
Oh, you were on 17?
17, bro.
That's sad.
Yeah, I was playing a lot of footy, and a lot of people kind of educated me into getting on them, and I didn't question anything. I was just fucking ignorant and just whatever. Cool, let's just fucking do it. I'm not ashamed of it. I don't care. I'll admit it and tell people the whole story, because I hope that people can listen to these stories that I tell open-minded enough and not judgmental enough that maybe people that are young like I was will be like, oh, cool, maybe I'll think twice about doing that. Yeah. I'm not going to do steroids at this young of an age, but I'm also going to not tell people don't do it. Like, if you want to do it, just do it properly. Go to a doctor, get your blood work done. Wait till you're of a decent age to do it. Do it a smart, healthy amount. If you want to do that shit, by all means, that's your life. Go and do it. But I'm going to make sure that people know I fucked up and didn't look into anything, didn't research anything, took a whole bunch of shit, and it fucked my hormones up for years. I didn't even know that that's what it was. I had no testosterone in my body for years.
So that, I didn't know this. So that steroid abuse period was tied into your down period of mental health?
No. So it wasn't. It was before all of this.
Right.
And it was after about 2-3 years after I stopped, because I stopped taking stuff at 21.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to do that ever again. My head was fucked. My body was fucked. I wasn't even getting in good shape either. I was just, because I was drinking, not eating right. And I stopped. I never ran any PCTs, stuff you take after a cycle. I never ran anything, bro.
Is this just naivety?
I had bad gyno as well. Like, I had gyno surgery a year and a half ago.
Was this just because you didn't know?
I didn't know anything. I was taking sus and test.
Who were your boys at this time?
What's that?
Who were your boys? Who were your gym
just
bros?
Some people where I grew up, and but they didn't know. They're all older, and I just was like, whatever, man. I was easily convinced, and that's on me. I'm not going to blame anybody but myself. It's my own fuck up.
It's a good way to be.
I'm not like, oh, it's their fault. But I had people around me that were like egging me on to do shit, and I was just a young fucking lunatic, and I'm like, cool, I'll fucking have a crack. It's not their fault. It's my fault. I put it in my body.
For sure.
But I mean, it is what it is, bro. And I did that many years. I had no sex drive, no energy, no motivation. That's what led into me just feeling so depressed. And my estrogen levels were high. My testosterone levels were fucking nothing, non-existent. Yeah. And in America, I remember talking to Bradley Martin, big gym guy.
Oh, were you on the Brad Martin podcast?
No, but I was just talking to him in his gym, because me and my friend Kristen filmed with him. And I was opening up to him a little bit about all these things. And he told me, have you ever had your like hormones or testosterone checked? I said, no, what does that mean? Went and did it. And that's when I found out my test levels were pretty much non-existent. My estrogen levels were high. Prolactin was high. Everything was high, Then I started on testosterone replacement therapy from a doctor, a small amount. Within 4 or 5 weeks, it's like an angel shine a light through my fucking curtain in my bedroom.
TRT?
Yep.
Dead set.
My motivation was back. My energy was back. I was sleeping good. I was burning body fat again. I was able to actually get in shape a bit easier again. I wasn't taking a lot for like bodybuilding purposes. It was just the health side, which I am a huge believer in. In America, a lot of people over the age of 30 are on it, taking it for their health, for long-term things.
I think you kind of, I feel like you need to, man, to be honest.
Yeah, people are still like, oh, steroids.
No, why would I want to feel like shit just
if you're taking like 30 times the amount for bodybuilding purposes, and then you're going to fuck yourself up. But if you do it smart under a doctor's guidance, that's a doctor, it's a health professional. They study it. There's a lot of study behind it, and it fixed me up. So a lot of credit to Bradley for pushing me in that direction. And
I didn't know that. So he got you into the TRT.
Yeah, and I did that for about a year. Then nowadays usually I go 3 months on, or I'll go 6 months on or 6 months off. Yep. I haven't been on it for a while now, but I mean, man, it's just one of those things.
Now?
Yeah, I've been off it for a while.
Fucking looking good for off TRT.
Yeah, well, that's the thing now with age and with fucking up and with experience and practicing, trialing and erroring, all these things. Yeah. Now I know how to optimize my body properly. Healthy herbal supplements, foods, things to eat, things to not eat, things to take, supplements, vitamins. There's so many ways to have boosted testosterone. You can detox bad hormones out your body, like lower your estrogen naturally, all these things.
Do you find it's interesting though, like when you're physically in check, everything else kind of falls into place?
100%. If you're looking good and feeling good physically and you're working out regularly, your brain is always a little bit calmer.
Yeah.
Because you're releasing so much physical energy and stress, whether it's boxing or a big long distance run.
Bro, how good's boxing for the dopamine
unreal.
hit?
It's unreal.
I feel like it's like therapeutic.
It is so therapeutic, man, and it's great. And I encourage any of that to anybody, man. It even doesn't have to be boxing, doesn't have to be the gym. It can be a walk. Just get out, move around, get some sunlight, take your omega-3s, fucking eat good healthy food, drink water, detox bad people out your life, spend less time on social media as contradicting as it might sound, people watching this on social media. But, you know, I think people, you know, could limit their phone usage and do all these small little things. Their mental state's going to feel better. Their physical health will be better.
Isn't it funny? Like everything you've just said, like if you could say that to like a 20-year-old or an 18-year-old or like a 21 or someone starting out a business or just trying to do something new, big, like all of these lessons, like imagine if you or me did that from the age of 20, you know?
Oh, it'd be crazy.
Fucking be
But, you know, I regret nothing in life. I am where I am, and every single fuck up and bad experience has shaped me to where I am.
Yeah.
You know, would have I done things differently if I could go back? Yeah, hell yeah, I would. But I mean, these are the cards I've been given. It's the life I live, and you know I can't change anything. So
do you reckon? So like gym and like just keeping everything in check.
Yep.
That's kind of like helped you, I guess, navigate through all the chaos of like all the other shit you're involved
and the gym has for sure been my go-to. It's kept me mentally sane many times.
Yeah.
I preach this all the time, man, and it's like I'm not a fitness inspiration guy at all. I'm just a regular. I just work out and that's it. I'm not trying to compete. I'm not trying to do these things, but. People say, you know, chemical imbalances can cause depression and these problems, and that's true. That definitely does. But I ask a lot of people who come to me might say that they're suffering from depression or they're not feeling great or they've got anxiety.
Yeah,
and I'm
people
like,
telling you
cool.
this
Yeah, all the time, man. And I try to reply to people here and there and help out where I can.
That's good, bro.
And I just say, look, what's your lifestyle like? And like, oh, well, I don't work out. And, you know, I drink a lot of pre-workout, or I drink a lot of caffeine just through the days, or I sleep at 3 a.m. and I watch Netflix in bed till 3. I'm like, well, here's the first thing. I'm like, my best advice would be, start exercising daily. It can be a 20-minute walk. Yeah. Just get out. If you can get sunlight, exercise, healthy foods, find out what works best for your body, what types of foods, a regular sleeping pattern, you're instantly going to be feeling better. Yeah. That's just a proven fact. Yeah, whether you've got a chemical imbalance or a shitty life outside of all that, those things naturally are going to boost your serotonin, boost your dopamine, lower your cortisol, which is going to lower your stress levels. All those things are proven to actually help. It might only help like 10%, but that's still better than nothing.
Are you getting people who like come to you as sort of like a mentor in the creative space?
All the time. I don't have enough. There's not enough hours in a day to reply to everyone.
Have you got like one or two who because I find that like it's easy to look after people who you see like a little bit of yourself in. Have you seen anyone kind of coming up where you're like, fuck, this is like a little version of me?
There's definitely people I've noticed over time. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to name anybody, but I mean, I've seen people that, you know, you can tell they're like, fuck. Their mind is a bit corrupted and chaotic like mine was many years ago. Yeah. And I will extend my open arm invitation and be like, look, like I won't attack them and be like, oh, you're all fucked up. I'll just be like, look, like if you ever need someone to chat to or if you need help or any advice, I'm more than happy to help out. I'm happy to help as many people as I possibly can. But, you know, I also have to focus on myself because I don't want to fall back to where I was either. So it's not bad to be a bit selfish with your time and energy. Like
100%, bro.
I look after my family and friends and look after myself. And I always put myself first. Yeah. Because if I don't, I'm not going to be able to look after my family and friends to the full potential that I possibly could look after them. Yep. So I have to look after myself first, and then I can look after everybody else the best way I can. Yep. If you always put everyone else before you, you're just going to be last and you're not going to be content. You won't be happy. So it's like, I like it. I'm a people pleaser as well. I'm a provider. I like to help people and look after people. But like I said, you have to be selfish for a while and put yourself first.
Well, you nailed it before when you were talking about girls. Like if you're not the best version of yourself, you're going to attract the worst version of a girl. Yep. And if you're the best version of yourself, you're going to attract the best version of a girl.
1,000,000%.
You know what I mean? And they're going to come in when you are the best. So if you're just constantly working on you, like everything does fall into place.
Yeah, that's so true. Like I've been lucky to date a couple of girls that were all like the 2 long relationships I had. Both of them were beautiful girls, great people, hardworking, loyal, very like supportive, just very chill, hardworking people, and they were great. There's been short-term things in the middle and after, before all that stuff, but obviously that was all just chaos and stuff. It's like you said, you know, when I was in those fucked up states, I would attract shitty people. But
isn't it weird how it works like that?
Definitely.
Like when you're in a bad space, you attract kind of like bad energy, and so I think it's like it takes wisdom to learn that like it all comes from the top down.
100%.
If there's just a bottle of shit at the top, it's kind of
yeah, man. you can't be a piece of shit and expect to attract good people.
100%.
You just can't.
Have you like run into people like that in your like, you know, because like for example, in LA, right? I've sat at tables like this before, and the talent manager will be calculating the net worth of everyone at the table, and they'll only talk to whoever they think's got the money. Yeah. And it's so psychopathic that I'm like, fuck man, I can't be around this person.
See, that's when I get tempted to be a troll.
Yeah, but that's good. Is that how you deal with it?
That's how I will just make jokes. I won't call them a cunt and be tough guy and threaten or be like, oh, you're a prick.
A good way to deal with it.
I love it. I'll just keep asking them to repeat themselves. I'll act so dumb just so I make them repeat themselves 100 times. I'll bring up dumb questions and just distract them and just waste their time. Like it just becomes about wasting their time and getting them as angry as possible.
So you know who I'm talking about?
Yep.
So you troll them.
I've been around people like that. I've been around at a table before in LA, and they were talking about someone's mum, and they go, oh, his mum probably doesn't even have 200 grand in her bank.
Oh, that's so bad,
and I'm like, you know, this is years ago before I met him, and I'm like, you know what? My mum probably doesn't either. I'm like, I got half a mind to stand up and fucking boot you in the face.
Yeah,
you know
so
what I mean? But you can't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
So you troll them.
Yeah, just take the piss out of them. And I'm like, well, I've got 200 million in my bank.
Yeah, that's good, bro. But I love that. But you got to fuck with some people. And some of them, they're too like sociopathic and naive to even know they're being fucked with.
They're just dumb as dog shit.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Some rich people, I know it sounds what's the word? Like contradicting, but some rich people are just dumb as shit. They're just,
100%.
They were good at something that made them rich, and that's all you need to be sometimes. But in terms of like common sense and socializing and morals and stuff, they're just fucking dumb.
Do you reckon you've got that to that point? Like, you know, some people hit a lick, get some cash, and that's it. They'll cash out. They're finished. But like, do you think you're always going to have that itch to do something new all the time?
Yeah. I mean, I'm, you know, at heart, I am a creator. I'm an entertainer. I do believe my sole purpose of being born was to entertain people, whether they love it or hate it. I want to be involved in that field of work, whether it's podcasting and trying to help people through entertainment or advice or knowledge I have, whether it's making people laugh through my pranks and dares and challenge videos and stuff. I always want to be involved in that for a good while. I'd say at least another 10 years. Yeah. Then mid to late 30s, just transition and just ride off into the sunset with a nice fucking wife. Yeah. Have a little family somewhere and disappear into the country.
Settle down.
Just go get a big fucking get a big ranch, get a bunch of animals, just grow my own fruits and vegetables and shit, and have my chick just go and grab it all every day.
Stay here in Australia.
Just fuck her. Yeah. Fuck her heaps. It's not fuck.
I love how you're planning for her to be so hot that you're just gonna want to grab her all the time.
I just picture this beautiful woman walking around a field of like fruits and vegetables with a little basket and a little sundress with no underwear on, and I just walk out and crash tackle her on the ground and fucking eat her pussy. You know what I mean?
Right in the pussy. Yeah, man, we've all been there.
With consent.
Yeah, consensual pussy fucking. How did it feel going on the Logan Paul podcast and being involved in that entourage? Because like that's the point of that's where you're dealing with big people, man. Like big.
I never went on Logan Paul's podcast.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you fucking
no, I did.
Am I going mental? You really got me with that. Am I fucked?
It's a straight face.
Yeah, well, you got me good.
I do it to people a lot.
Well done.
Terrible trait. I'm a very good liar. Never believe anything that comes from. I'm a con man. No, going on Logan Paul's podcast. Yeah, Impulsive was fucking great, man. Yeah. Like they were all really cool to me. They were great. Logan and stuff didn't understand a lot of my sarcasm a lot of the time. Oh, yeah? But, you know, I've hung out with Logan before that in person. We've had drinks. I've hung out with him after that. I know Jake well enough as well. I know Mike well enough. Hung out with Mike when he came to Australia.
Yeah.
And I know George, who was on the podcast, George Jenko, another co-host.
Yeah.
They're pretty good at adapting to their guests, I find. Nice. Whether they're controversial, whether they're just funny guys, whether they're really serious. Yeah. They're good at, you know, trying to read the energy a little bit and just trying to go with the flow of the guest. And they were good. It was great, man. A big platform. And
can I ask about that? Has anyone drawn a parallel? Because, like, to be honest, I don't know if you've noticed this, but like, if you look at what you guys do side by side, you're both creators, you're both entertainers, you're both entrepreneurs, you're both obsessed with physical activity, being top of your game. Like, do you feel that, like, when you're hanging out with these guys, that they're very similar to what you do?
Yeah, yes and no. We've got a lot of differences. They're very businessy. You know, I'm a creator, right. You know, so were they originally, but I've barely ever launched a product or a brand or a business.
For sure, yeah.
I've just focused on my brand and business is just creating good content.
That's hectic.
You know, and that's what I've always done. Those guys, I think a lot of the people in America have got not a bad agenda, but they've got like, okay, let's make content, go viral, get fans, then cash the fuck in and be businessmen.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that does make sense. It's smart. You got to get paid. You need to set yourself up. However, I've always just focused on the fun side, which is the content. But, you know, a lot of as you get older, you start making more money and doing these things, it's hard to not get tied up with admin and business side of things. And it becomes more about that than it does the content. And that's when my head starts going a bit fucked, because it's like, I just want to create content.
Yeah.
And, you know, I spend a lot of my time now, emails, meetings, watching over edits, downloading footage,
but you
running
want to bring
around.
some of that back though, right?
Yeah, I would love to. That's
you're happiest when you're creating content.
Yeah, if I can be spending most of my time just making content, like I'll be on cloud nine and be feeling great, which also means business will be good.
Can I? Yeah, because there was a time where that was popping off, because you had the Bang sponsorships, you had all these things rolling in, and from what I remember, that's where you were like at your peak of content creation, right? And that's where you're the happiest.
Yeah,
because you're like fully about that life.
Yeah, I mean, like. I would agree and disagree. Like right now, I'm for sure probably the happiest and healthiest I've ever felt.
You look good, bro.
By a fucking mile. I'm bulletproof mentally. Physically, I feel great. I had the spine surgery last year. I'm back into a bit of boxing. I look good. I feel good. I've got the best people around me. Yeah. I've, you know, really stripped back from the shitty people. I'm smarter than I've ever been, and I've got a lot of purpose again and clarity in my life, and I haven't had that for a long time. I'm honestly, man, I am on cloud nine as it is. I'm so happy and blessed every day. Full of gratitude, just fucking stoked, bro. Like, so, but in saying that, I do agree, you know, I am happiest when I'm creating content.
Yep.
And going back a couple of years, because like I said, I had a couple of years where I stripped back, making, you know, the Bang contract, filming in America with my friend Kristen Hamby. Yep. Me and him were blowing up on the internet. Every Instagram video, millions of views every day. Yeah. We were going viral on all platforms for a good couple of years, you know, our shit was going great. And I just hit a wall. I was burnt out. I was a bit over it. I was like, getting a bit sick of it, you know. I was like, fuck, is this what I want, just to be going viral in videos every day? Like, what is there more to life? Like, what do I want?
Like creative burnout?
It could be that, yeah. And I was burnt out, and, you know, I was also making great money and all these things, and I was like, fuck, it's weird, you know. I was making good money and blowing up, and probably the most successful I was at that point, but yet I didn't feel like I was that happy or content with things. And I was like, shit, like, if I can make all this money and have all my stuff being so successful right now, and I don't feel complete or happy, like, fuck, what... It's depressing, you know what I mean? Because you think all these things will make you happy.
I remember talking to you when this happened, bro.
Yeah, well, this was at least 3 years ago.
Yeah, like, I remember you saying that. Yeah, right. So you're at the top of the game, but you're just not feeling good.
Yeah, I wasn't, man. And you know, that's why I stripped back a little bit and just drifted off and did my own thing, put time into myself. I didn't care if my videos were going bad. I didn't care if people were forgetting about me, man. Because I know it's relatively easy for me to get back on the scene and create content, and people will talk again and people will watch. You know, there is a lack of good creators in the world right now, and people doing crazy shit with how PC our world is. So to get back and make some fucked up videos again, it's going to stand out. And man, I've been posting videos the last few weeks. Me and my friend Julian, we've had about 60 million views in the last 2 weeks on TikTok combined.
That's that.
Our shit's popping off. Our shit's going good. So
what's you've always had your finger on the pulse of what's going to do well.
Yeah, yes and no. Like, there was a while, I think when I've got clarity and I've got that purpose and I know what I want, it's fucking easy. I'm tunnel vision and I will work so hard. It's when I've got too many things going on in my head and I don't know what to decide, and I end up putting like 5% of my effort into 20 things rather than 100% into one thing. And
what's a good example of a couple of things you put 100% into and just fucking nailed it?
Like when I was doing like videos with my friend Kristen, we went hard for a couple of years. My Instagram went from like 400K to 4.5 mil in like 2 years.
Can I tell you, I'm just going to tell a story about you that people might not know. One of the fucking coolest things about you as a creator, a business person, a fucking entrepreneur, just a fucking human that I think people don't know. I've seen people who've got their Instagram accounts tanked and they just fucking cry about it and they say, oh, woe is me, everything sucks. Like, I've lost everything. You know, I can't build it back again. I remember when you got yours tanked and we were fucking going at Facebook legal.
I did make one video a little bit like annoying.
Yeah, you pissed them off massively.
But there was a principle behind it. The person that wanted to delete me,
I remember,
supported other OnlyFans people. So I just felt like it was an attack.
Yeah, it was putrid.
And that's just why I was upset with it. I wasn't upset at losing the account. I was upset at the principle behind it all. I was just like, well, this person's supporting everybody else that does OnlyFans.
I remember. It was
coming after me, you know. But it is what it is. That hatchet's blown. I have no grudges and moving on.
But the thing is, bro, what I liked about that, you didn't complain, you didn't cry, you just got back and grinded, and you got back up higher than where you fell from.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I mean, my Instagram's not as big as what it was.
Isn't it?
It's about half the size, but I didn't put too much grind back into the Instagram. I just focused on the next things, you know?
But to go back from zero back up to 7 figures again. Like, I mean, I tell people, like, I've gone bankrupt almost twice and I've made, you know, 7 figures and I've lost it all. One time I was so fucking broke, I couldn't even afford a bus home. I had a 3-month-old baby, couldn't afford baby formula. I was fucked, had $0. And then boom, all back again. But it was because I didn't cry about it. I didn't complain. insane. And it was the same with what you did. Like,
well, every day you spend sitting around crying about it's a day you're losing at getting back ahead.
Correct. And
you know what I mean?
But like, I think it's a perfect example of like when life punches you in the dick, like you didn't cry, you didn't buckle, you just built it back up. Yeah. Do you feel that that's like character building to do that sort of stuff?
For sure. And it also, for my situation, made me realize all this shit's temporary and social media is changing fast. It's getting strict. It's becoming more like a popularity contest and like a high school clique rather than it's just a safe space for everyone to post the shit they enjoy doing. It became more of like, oh, we'll support who we want to support and boost their profiles. And then if someone's a little bit controversial, we're going to fuck you off. It's no more freedom of speech, no more like freedom of creating content.
It's getting that bad.
It's really bad. Yeah. And I was like, cool, I've lost my Instagram. That was a big fear before it. You know, it's gone. Spent 7 years growing that. It's putting all my time and energy, hurting myself, embarrassing myself. Spent a lot of money, all my money putting back into just to try to grow my brands, trying to grow my platforms. So to lose it, it hurt. But then I was like, well, you know what? It's gone now. You don't actually own it. You're not an owner of it. So it made me feel like I'm not my own boss, which was the reason I got into it. So I'm like, cool, what's next? So how can I make a shitload of money, step back a bit and invest some money and time into myself, my health, a break. Had a break. I'm back. We've been posting good videos again, full of motivation, and here I am.
So
bro.
it all comes from just in here, hey? Like it's all about if everything here is good.
Right down to the tip of my dick.
If everything's good here down here, then the money comes in here.
That's it, bro.
Yeah, all right. And the OnlyFans period of your life?
Yep.
Was that a bit chaotic for you?
Fucking crazy,
yeah?
bro.
How'd that feel?
Man, it was like, I don't know where to start with that, bro. It was just insane, right? Like I met my ex-partner at Dan Bilzerian's Valentine's Day party in LA, Bel Air.
Yeah.
And we'd never really spoken or met before then. And we just kicked it off. We met, started hanging out. And this was the beginning of COVID. So it was very hard to get back to Australia, very hard to stay there, hard to travel. And we started dating pretty quickly, man. She was already in the OnlyFans world. I wasn't, but I was already a bit over social media. I thought, cool, here's a good opportunity. Why don't we do some content together? And she was down. I was down. We just went hard. We made a lot of money together. We were very lucky to do very well. And yeah, man, I mean, the OnlyFans shit was just bonkers for me, you know.
It pops off quick, hey?
It popped off quick. You know, there was a lot of people that wanted to see me do it. There was, you know, a lot of people that wanted to see her do it with a guy. So it was the right place, right time. The universe made it all happen the way it did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately caused a few problems in our relationship, not for money or business. We never had a fight over money once, not once in our 2-year relationship. We had one argument over money ever.
That's good.
She was very, very understanding and chill, which was great. It's good to talk about it all, you know, like,
yeah. You seem to talk about it like positively.
Yeah. I mean, I've got not one bad thing to say about that girl. She moved on. She got a new partner. I'm super happy for her. I genuinely mean it. She deserves it. Beautiful. We didn't work out for a reason, which, you know, if you can accept the fact and swallow your pride and realize something doesn't work, there's no need to be offended.
Yeah.
Just not right for each other. You know, there is going to be people out there you'll be right for.
I think you also come into each other's lives for a reason.